Resourcefulness. A self-made millionaire who's been bankrupt twice doesn't worry about money because they know how to climb back. They know how to be resourceful. Whereas a trust fund baby who's given $1 million is going to be very anxious about money because they don't know how to keep it, they don't know how to make it. The ability to create something from nothing will give you far more confidence than being given something for free. Human beings are the greatest problem-solving machines in our known universe, and you are one of these machines. You would know it if you could tap into that ability. If instead of relying on resources from others to give you a sense of security, you learn to create resources for yourself, to go and find them, to hunt and forage and beg and borrow, do whatever's needed to solve your problem, then you'll realize that you are an absolute weapon that can solve nearly anything. See, insecure people cling to resources rather than exercising resourcefulness. They stockpile money and hoard possessions and cling to bad relationships because they think without those things they're left empty, that they've lost something. But a resourceful person's never really attached because they know that they can just replace anything they lose. The more dependent you are, the less capable you are. Deliberately seek out difficult situations. Put yourself in a position where you have to find your way out of something without much support. Force yourself to keep your resourcefulness sharp. This can be simulated, like going to one of those escape rooms, or you can take advantage of real life situations like quitting your terrible job without having a new job lined up. Just do it and see if you can solve it. Stoic or emotionally stable. See, emotions are not the problem. Confident people are not suppressing emotions. It's how you perceive emotions and react to them that determines your quality of life. A confident person does not react quickly and thoughtlessly to their feelings, but he doesn't suppress them either. He harnesses them like energy and uses them to engage in behavior that improves his life. Emotions are life itself, but if you're a victim to them, you'll be drowning in them. It's kind of like surfing. The waves are needed for surfing. If you want to have a good surf, you need big waves. But if you don't know how to surf, if you don't back yourself and surf the wave, you'll get pulled underneath and dragged across the coral. So you start to think that waves are bad. That's really what you do with them. This is how emotions are. Most people seem to go through a roller coaster of suppressing emotions and then exploding. So they're either holding them back like a tea kettle boiling over, or they're just drowning in emotion and getting dragged across the coral reef. You got to learn to surf emotions. Whenever a feeling comes up, you got to be able to ask yourself, what's the best way to use this energy? What's the healthiest decision I can make while I feel this way? Every feeling serves a helpful purpose if you know how to use it. Anger, sadness, confusion, stress, depression. These can all serve a purpose. You don't have to suppress them. You don't have to let them wash over you and drown you. Just got to ask yourself, how do I make the most of this feeling? Notice that you can have a feeling without acting on it. There's no commands or instructions that you're receiving from your feelings, just urges. You don't have to act on these urges, but you don't have to suppress them either. You can just let the urge pass and then ask yourself, what should I do next that's helpful? Think of it like hunger. You get the sudden urge to eat cake. Okay, you're hungry and you should eat, but you don't have to eat cake. You can eat a salad instead. You can use that hunger urge to create a salad. Being angry, you could punch a hole in the wall like it wants you to, or you could calmly express your boundary to your partner. There's always options to use these emotions helpfully. Considered and thoughtful. There's always the right amount of thinking in any given situation. Is too little thinking, too much, and the right amount. Too little is just being impulsive, reacting to whatever first knee-jerk reaction you had inside your head. And overthinking is where you've already come to a decision and then you think even further without taking action. Confident people think the right amount and then take an action. The right amount of thinking is essentially eliminating all bad options, leaving yourself with a range of good options, ranking those good options from first to last as much as you can, and then picking one of them and acting on it. That's about the right amount of thinking, and that's the kind of thinking you can do in any situation. Most people do one of the other two. They either impulsively act on any thought that comes into their head, they speak without thinking, they do whatever their body urges them to do, or they overthink it. Okay, they go through justifications and rethinking and reconsidering after they've already identified what it is they need to do. Come as quickly as you can to a decision on what seems to be the right next move. Do some tiny action at least before you think about it again, and that is considered and thoughtful thinking. Relentless. Good things take time. Real things need to be built. There is no instant gratification that's helpful. So relentlessly smashing through the inevitable obstacles and setbacks and failures is what confident people do. The universe generally operates in a energy in equals energy out, or input in equals output. Right? So you get kind of what you give. The more you invest into something, generally speaking, the more you get out of it, unless it's a bad investment. So not everything is worth investing in, but the good things in life do take a long-term investment. You want to build a great relationship, it takes time and effort and energy and confrontations and emotions. You want to build a business, it takes this relentless pursuit of knowledge and growth over time, many years of work. You want to get really healthy, you got to hit the gym every day, you got to eat healthy meals far more often than unhealthy ones over a very long period of time, and so on. When it comes to learning a skill, especially to mastery level, even if you have a natural talent, you got to get your hours in, you got to do the basic foundation work, you got to do the boring bits so that you can do the fancy bits later. A lot of people tend to bail when things get tough. When it isn't a massive reward on investment right away, people lose interest and go try to find something else or just give up entirely. Or they do the opposite, they put a huge investment in something that's clearly not paying out at all. They're not seeing any progress, like somebody who keeps trying to fix a broken relationship. When you see that something has a good return on investment, even if it's slight, then you stick with it. Now, that return on investment might not be immediate. It might be a few dance classes before you get the rhythm. It might be a few confrontations before your partner respects you. You just got to know at what point are you seeing evidence that it's a good investment, and then you keep investing. So whenever you hit a difficult point or a wall or things aren't progressing that much and whatever it is you're pursuing, stop, ask yourself, is pursuing this aligned with my values? Is mastering this worth it in the long run? And if the answer is yes, keep going. Action focused. When you study psychology of confident people, you'll see that they really fixate on behavior. Thoughts and feelings play their role, but it really comes down to what you do. If you want to be proud of yourself, you've got to give yourself something to be proud of. If you want to say to yourself that I'm responsible and courageous and honest, that's all going to be behavior that you're measuring, not thoughts and feelings. Your life's quality is determined far more by what you do than what you think and feel. Those things do play a role, but if you just fixate on getting your behavior right, that's most of the work done. Too many people live inside their heads. They live in the imagination world. They measure what didn't happen. They fantasize about what can't happen. They treat their thoughts as commands or truth. They treat their feelings as feedback. Really, they should be asking, what did I just do? Does that align with my core values? That's all that really matters. One question you can ask yourself, and it was the best question I've ever found in my whole life, what would a confident person do right now? And just ask yourself that question over and over again, multiple times per day. Try to answer it with your behavior. And that's how you build confidence. Lastly, we've got integrity. Integrity is a state of being whole, consistent, congruent, and honest. It means you're the same person in all situations, give or take some context. Your actions pretty much always align with your core values. What comes out of your mouth is about as truthful as you can manage, consistently. When everything you do aligns with your core values and everything you say is honest, you get a great sense of self. You get the sense of this consistent person who shows up all the time. Most people kind of adjust who they are to the situation. It's called the chameleon effect. Kind of play the role that's best suited to the situation, but that just means you're acting and you don't know who you really are. When you constantly adapt to each situation for comfort or instant gratification or neediness for preferred outcomes, you're not building confidence, you're actually increasing your insecurity. People sacrifice who they are to avoid pain and loss and rejection, and as a result, they lose who they are. So, as often as possible, carefully reflect on who you are and what you're doing and ask yourself, do I have integrity? Am I being consistent? Does what I do line up with what I preach? Am I living in a way that I would admire it if someone else was doing it? Do I respect the way I behave? Let go of short-term gratification, like a quick win or a bit of approval, a bit of comfort or an easy paycheck. Is to start thinking longer term. If I want to look back on myself in 10 years and be proud of what I see, how do I need to consistently behave? Are you a nice guy or people pleaser who wishes they were more assertive, more honest, and better respected by others? Since 2013, I've been helping people just like you discover their integrity, and apply it courageously to build deep and meaningful connections, get respected by others, and become the confident person you've always wanted to be. Imagine being able to speak your mind without worrying what other people will think or worrying that it's the right thing to say, and being able to assertively stand up for yourself and your loved ones. Imagine never feeling the need to apologize for who you are or what you want, and being able to live carefree without shame or the I'm not good enough story in your head. Imagine going to bed knowing that you courageously took every opportunity available to you and you've got no regrets because you always know what you should be doing in every situation. I'm so confident in my ability to help people like you unleash your highest level of self-worth that I give people a free coaching session to test what I'm doing. In this 1 hour session, we will uncover the biggest barrier to your confidence, whether it's an awareness problem, you don't know what you should be doing differently, or it's a courage problem, you know what you should be doing, but you find it too intimidating. I will guide you to make a breakthrough with your behavior to get through that barrier in a powerful way without feeling terrified and without destroying everything you love. I've had some people find this first session so powerful that I never hear from them again simply because they didn't need anything more after that. It launched them into the highest level of confidence that they've ever experienced. And if that's the result you get, I'm good with that. One client put it, this session was more valuable to me than 3 years of therapy combined. So if you're tired of trying to keep everybody happy, and you're sick of worrying what other people think of you, and you're concerned that your people pleasing and conflict avoidance is going to damage your relationships, then come and have a talk with me. Worst case scenario, you get to experience what it's like to talk with someone who actually understands what it's like to be you. I've lived the nice guy experience for decades. I know it inside and out. I know that pain. Case scenario, and very likely, you will have such a powerful insight into a behavioral change that you can make in the next 24 hours to significantly improve your confidence, relationships, and career. All I ask is that you be honest, open to change, and willing to try something new. Why wait another 10 years to discover confidence when you can do it today? Fill out the brief form below to apply for a trial coaching session. And do this quickly because there are limited spots each month. And then I'll get back to you to book in a time to talk.